Hello. 6 months ago, the arrow died, but what he stood for didn't. That's why I'm dressed up like him today. Because I know how to make a costume like his. And soon you will too. Enjoy.
Well, the first step is to make the mold for your shape. So to get that, you basically just get some alfoil and then get it up against your shoulder and just press it down into a shape that you just press it down. You got it. Use a reference photo to sketch the design of the shoulder thing onto the foil cast that you just made. Cut it out, because that's what you need to do. Once you've traced the shape, you can cut out the shoulder piece. Flatten out the piece by cutting down the lines into the rounded part. This is now your template that you can transfer onto EVA foam. Trace it twice onto EVA foam. Okay, now it's time to heat form it once you've cut out the shape. Now what you need for this is a heat gun. It's basically a hairdryer, except it's way hotter, so be careful when you're using this, otherwise you might burn yourself and die. Now glue the seal shut. Now you have to do this very slowly, at a slow pace, so glue one part together and then hold it shut, and then start going down the line. Make this shape out of thin EVA foam, and stick Velcro on each side, so that they can make a loop that will hold onto your arm, so that when you glue the final piece on, it looks like it's part of the other thing. I know, I'm just great with words. Just like with the last step, once you have the shape out, you can now heat form it so that it bends around your arm. Once you're done with that, you can make a second one. Magic! You can add Velcro straps onto the thing, Van braces, and paint them black. You really don't need a lot of paint, just a tinge so that it looks black when you're wearing it. And then you can hot glue it. It really doesn't matter what type of adhesive you use, but you know, hot glue it. Then you should get your cast or your tinfoil thing that you probably shouldn't have thrown away. If you already did, then well, I don't know, but just make another one. But you get your tinfoil and then you sketch out the design of the top layer onto it. I'll show you in a jump cut. Okay, that was pretty terrible considering my editing skills, but as you can see, I've drawn lines in with spaces between them because that's what they are in the costume, and I've made sure to leave a space between the edge and the actual line. Now you're gonna cut these out and transfer these onto foam, or thin sheet foam anyway. Now you may be wondering, why did I cut this in half? Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed. That was terrible. Now, I cut it in half because when I cast out the mold, it wasn't symmetrical, so I had to cut one part of it in half so that I can have it symmetrical. Simples. After defacing what's left of your mold, you should have these 5 pieces, or at least however you sketch the design out, which should be just evenly spaced diagonals going across your fan brace. And these shapes shall be now transferred onto foam and then cut out to put onto your van brace, which will make it look cooler. I just finished one piece and it looks pretty similar. It does have a bit of flaws, like I accidentally ripped this part, but otherwise it looks good. So the first part of this is to choose whether you're going to remove the hood or not. Now this is really up to you, but for me, I'm going to do it because it looks absolutely terrible compared to this. If you've seen the reference photos that I've been using, you can tell that there are two distinct lines down the middle, and it's like more circular instead of where it's cheaply made and there's only one seam line down the middle, so it's like it looks more like an elf, like season 1, you know. Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna remove the hood, and that's really simple. You just gotta cut the threads. So at this point, the costume should start looking like what it's supposed to. But here's where it gets really hard. Because all of you are different sizes, the chest pieces are going to be different sizes pretty obviously. So this next step is actually really hard because you're going to have to keep looking up reference photos and getting the scale right for your body so that you do not mess up and it does not look like a fucking train wreck. So because I rushed most of the building process, I will have a tutorial for most of the build, but the rest of it will you'll just have to do it based on what I'm saying right now, and it's actually pretty simple though. So basically, you could cut out all these plates. You could do what I did and use reference photos to make sure all the parts are equally spaced out and have the right things on them. I used a tin plate and cut out little diamonds. I used diamonds because I didn't have enough time to cut full circles. Otherwise, that would take heaps of time. And just put one on every corner. I used hex mesh from an old bag to fill in these little spaces that you see, and I tried to paint them green, but it didn't really work. Okay, moving on. You should stick the shoulder pads on with a little piece of foam, or you can get a sleeve of a shirt so that it will stick on like in the series, and you can paint the zip green because you know most paints can paint on metal. And the hood is made out of two parts. One part here, three parts, I'm sorry, but two of the parts are just identical. So one part going from here all the way to the back, and then this part down the middle running all the way to the front. It's like any jacket that has this row going all the way to the back, so that it will make a hood shape. If you just have it connected at the front, it will make like an elf shape like we said, and it doesn't look right. So the hood is alright. Now we get to this part, which was a long piece that wraps around the entire thing. So the shirt was the hardest part to build because you had to get an iron and get alfoil and press the foam with the alfoil and the irons so that it will heat form it to make this leathery type texture that actually makes it shinier, but it makes it look like leather is the point. Moving on to the pants, we have the same thing, except I used the old pair of jeans that I didn't want to put material on. You don't have to do this. You can just buy a cheap pair of jeans from the op shop. It'll be preferable if you find a pair of pants that don't have patterns on it that show up like this. It'll just make it look less authentic. Yeah, and I didn't have time because I was on a clock to press down with an iron to make the leather shape for the pants, so I just left it because no one really looks at your pants unless they're perverted. And you just follow the pattern all the way around. Simple. So thank you all so much for watching. I'm sorry that I didn't make this very in-depth, but I had to rush to make this, so I'd say I did a good job. But really, who's really gonna make something like this? So I will be putting this up for sale on eBay soon, if I feel like it, or when I get bored of it. Otherwise, I don't know, I'll just wait, I guess. I'm thinking of making a short film with this. You know, it would be nice because I spent a lot of effort on this. It would be a waste if I just sold it off without doing anything. And the tutorial for the quiver will be coming out soon when I fix it up and finish off the editing. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.